So if I'm not aware, I cannot stop it.
That's right.
So what is required? The first thing is required is your self-awareness. That I should be mindful, I should be aware, I should notice that I'm blaming and complaining. So I'm blaming and complaining. It has some expectations, it has some anxiety, it has some demand which is not met. And that demand is in the form of a thought, feeling, and emotions. So now these thought, feeling, and emotion constantly move in the mind. Now I have a problem with you. I have a problem with you. I have so it constantly there is a loop. So behind there is a loop. I have problem with you, and on the surface there is a blame and complaint. So what our masters are saying that these thought, feeling, and emotions are always in motion in the mind. So that motion is like a traffic. But behind the traffic, there is a highway. The traffic cannot move if there is nothing. There is a traffic. So then our master starts educating that, like the birds flying in the sky, nothing happens to the sky. Like the traffic moves on the highway, nothing happens to the highway. Like the waves in the ocean, waves rise high. There are millions of waves, nothing happens to the water. So fundamentally, our masters reveal that there is an observer. There is an observer in all of us. Nothing happens to an observer. The sky versus the birds flying in the sky, highway versus the traffic on the highway, the waves, water and the waves. Nothing happens to the water. Nothing happens to the highway. Nothing happens to the sky. The sky does not expand or shorten. Same thing that there is something in us, nothing happens to that. But then why I feel constant blaming and complaining? Because I become the blame and complain, because I have lot of expectations. And that is what you can say it is ego, you can say it is a default mind, you can say it is a default mind, it is a crazy mind, it is impulsive mind. And you rightly said that when we have those thoughts, it doesn't want to stop. So it doesn't want to stop. It is like it is a loop. And that loop covers our real nature. We are an observer. We are the highway. We are the sky. We are the water. We are not the waves. We are not the traffic. So this leads to the conclusion by our masters the way we see the world outside is a distorted perception, is a wrong perception. How come? I see the light falling on the in the room. There is a light in the room. But the light does not come only from the bulb. There is a visible part, it is the bulb, and there is the invisible part, is the electricity. Same thing, the we don't understand the true nature of the word. Why? Because we get carried away because of the default mind. So that default mind, which is impulsive in nature, it does not find the time to pause and stop and see. It impulsively it reacts, it hesitates, and there comes the blame and complaint game. So that needs not only first it needs to be understood, but then the moment we understand, that blame and complaint dissolves. I understand that default mind, blame and complain, and when I become aware and I ask the question why I am blaming and complaining and reacting, then I recognize that there is expectations, there is a desire that I want to fulfill. You should have appreciated me, you don't appreciate me. So I blame. So first, that I do not become aware, I don't notice that I have certain expectations. Because my expectations are not fulfilled, so I have anxiety, I have reaction, I have stress. And that anxiety and stress continues on one thing, on the second thing, on the third thing, and it continues throughout our life. For 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, we continue to live into that state of looping. Looping means, that impulsive nature continues to repeat itself. What the mind thinks, default mind thinks that, okay, if I'm not appreciated by one person, I'll be appreciated by the other person. I will fulfill my desire from the second person, but the second person also do not fulfill the desire. We don't question that if I need to fulfill the desire and my expectations from others, I don't question it. So I marry once, I divorce and I remarry second time. I remarry third time. So that happens with almost everything in our life. So default mind takes over. Another point to understand is also very interesting that our master uses the word. Look at the floor. Normally our homes are very well closed. We don't hardly open the door. It is full of air conditioning. So if you leave the floor as it is, the dirt and the dust accumulates there. You can ask from where this dirt and the dust comes. It accumulates. Say for example on the floor, you don't clean the house for a couple of weeks. So now see, pay attention, the dirt and the dust accumulates on the floor does not mean the floor is damaged. Floor is not damaged. Still it is a shiny floor. You just clear and clean the dirt and the dust, you have the shiny floor. It says the default mind covers, veils by its dirt and the dust of my real nature. Real nature is not damaged. The way the floor is not damaged, the same way our real self is not damaged. It remains as it is. Like the highway is not damaged. You have a highway, you have a traffic jam in the morning, and in the midnight you can see the highway as it is. It's very clean. Same with the sky. Full of dark clouds, and after that the sky becomes clear. Sky is not damaged. Same way, that real self is not damaged or destroyed or distorted. This is how our masters explains. So when it is not damaged or then how to find it? How to find it? I have to clean the dirt and the dust. So where it is accumulated in the mind. How it is accumulated? Because of my lack of awareness, I don't notice. And if I don't notice it, so the same way, our mind accumulates blame, complaint, reaction, plus the anxiety. It is already there. And in a spur of a moment, you rightly said one more point, that we don't know when the anger will come, when I will be agitated. No, I know it. It is because of the dirt and the dust which is already covering the mind. I have lived my life, throughout my life, for 40, 50, 60 years of my life, with the same anger, hesitation, duality, conflict, blame, and expectations. So the same thing will come. How can you expect the salt can be sweet? When it is salty, it has to be salty. So there the role of the ego also comes. And the role of the ego also comes, and it constantly accumulates the dirt and the dust. We are not able to see that shiny floor. Say, for example, you enter into the home after first time and you see a very black color accumulated on the floor. You don't see the shiny floor. So you will constantly live with that. So the master points out that we cannot, our real self cannot be distorted, destroyed or damaged. You have to remove the dirt and the dust. So that is why we say, Master, entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to move from ignorance to wisdom. I have to remove the ignorance of dirt and the dust. Take another example. The mirror is the same. You are the same. You stand before the mirror full of dirt and the dust. You see the distorted image in the mirror. You are not distorted. You are not damaged. Same way the Master says, our real self is only one. It is full of peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. It cannot be damaged. Why? It is permanent. It is all pervading. It is permanent means it is unchanging. Traffic changes, birds flying changes, dirt in the dust keeps on accumulating, it changes. But our real nature does not change. The way you stand before the mirror, you have a distorted image in the mirror that has changed, but you do not change. The same way, we basically, fundamentally, our core, our real self is all pervading, it is unchanging, it is permanent happiness, it is peace, it is love, it is truth, and it is wisdom. So it means the Eastern wisdom is a journey of self-discovery. Why it is a self-discovery? I know myself. No, I don't know. I know myself a little bit incomplete. What is that incomplete? I know myself. I know that I am an ego. I have certain behavior and attitude. I have certain accumulated habits and impulsive nature. I know what is incomplete. I know half of it. How do I know that there is a light? Oh, light comes from the bulb. No. Without electricity, there cannot be light. So I know the light, how the light comes, I know half knowledge. I know about the body, I know about the mind, I know certain about attitudes and behavior, but I don't know what is behind it. So the entire Eastern wisdom is a journey of finding that real self. So again, go back to the conclusion that this world I perceive through the senses and the mind, I see an incomplete nature of the world. I don't see the total picture. I don't see what is behind this world of people, of events, of time and the place. Have you ever thought, does this time be divided into past, present, and future? It is for my convenience. There is a continuity of the time. There is a continuity of the space. I divide, which I say it is my home, my room. I separate myself from others because I say, here is my honey, here is my kids, and here is my car. I don't see what is that oneness behind this entire universe. Take mosquito and think that mosquito is like, has an ability to become conscious. So now this mosquito becomes conscious of an elephant. And now the mosquito travels on the one leg of an elephant. Oh, this is one level. That is what we say, the earth on which I am able to keep my feet. Now, the same mosquito is traveling on the bottom of the belly of the elephant. Oh, above me there is a big sky, there is a galaxy. Our perception of the galaxy and the universe is very incomplete. Then the same mosquito goes to, maybe you can say, goes to the ear. Says, this is nothing, this is one solar system. Our perception of the entire universe is incomplete. Why it is incomplete, we perceive from the default mind, impure mind. We cannot perceive what is infinite, what is all pervading by the mind. So Eastern wisdom offers us the knowledge and the technology to enter into that higher state of the consciousness by which we can find out one unitary consciousness which is one all-pervading, and that all-pervading peace and happiness is me. Is me. I am of the nature. That is what we talk of the real self. So our perception of the universe, of the galaxy, of the earth and the solar system is broken into many parts, like the mosquito perceives the leg as separate, belly as a separate, ears as a separate world. So the same way we also perceive the entire world as a separate. This is Earth, this is North America, this is Asia, this is not what to talk about. This is Pacific Ocean, this is Atlantic. It is one. Because of limitations, I divide it. Because of the convenience, I divide it. So the Eastern wisdom helps step by step to enter into that state by which we become aware of the entire universe. It has two parts. One is continuous change, and other is the unchanging. What is unchanging always remains. It is the eternal, means that it lived in the past, it is in the present, it will continue to live in the future. So we prove it by understanding, and then we sit in meditation, we recognize that invisible consciousness in us, by which we perceive the outer layer is like a dirt in the dust. Outer layer is constantly changing, but there is something behind us which is not changing. So the body changes means body grows, body becomes old, body dies, but now I am unchanging, so I don't die. So I reach to a point there is no birth and the death. Same thing, there is no blame and the complaint. Blame and the complaint comes because of my expectations. Why I have expectations? Because I feel myself incomplete. Why I am seeking, for example, why I seek love from others. Think in the mind is seeking love from others. It means first I feel sense of incompleteness in me. That is why I am seeking something from outside. Without feeling hollowness and loneliness inside me, why should I expect love and peace and happiness from others? So I have a sense of hollowness. I live in the sense of loneliness. That is why I am seeking happiness from the world outside. First question. Second question, that why I am seeking happiness from the world outside? Because I have projected happiness. I feel hollowness inside, loneliness inside. Why? Because these are the different multiple layers of the dirt and the dust I have accumulated. Because of that, mind jumps outside, it starts seeking happiness. Now I don't get happiness from the person I am seeking. So then I have a reaction. The reaction manifests in the form of a blame and complaint and anxiety and duality, etc., etc. And then what happens? Then again it multiplies. Okay, I did not get my expectations fulfilled from you, so let me find another. Let me find the third situation, fourth situation, and that is why how the mind continues to move with that loop, and that loop continues until death. We don't find any solution. Last, what happens? So I have a constant repeated thoughts of blame, complaint, expectation, seeking peace, happiness. Simple example, I go to a restaurant, like the food. How long the pleasure remains? 10, 15 minutes, half an hour. We extend that half an hour because we keep sitting in the same restaurant for 2 hours. The owner is thinking when these crazy guys will leave so that the other guests will come. We don't fail. We feel, no. We find it. We are not mindful. And we want to repeat the same thing again. Even knowing that the peace and happiness last only for 10, 15 minutes as long as you eat the food. The moment that taste and the touch of the food is gone from the tongue, it is gone. But my mind wants to extend that. So first extension is that I keep sitting instead of half an hour, I keep sitting for 2 hours. Same thing applies to anything. Whether you buy a car, after a week, happiness is gone. You marry, after a few weeks, that very pleasure of the sex and etc. is gone. But we want to repeat it so that it can become permanent. It does not become permanent. We know it and still we repeat. So there is some unknown force. What is that unknown force? That is the impulsive nature. That is our instinct. That is our unconsciousness. You have a pet watching you. You are also looking at the pet. But the moment you show the bite of the food and the dog jumps, So, because of our blame and complaint, because of our seeking happiness outside, the moment we see, oh, that restaurant, very good, I like the food in that restaurant, oh, that car, we don't have control over ourselves. We get carried away. That is the impulsive nature. Well, all the animals have this impulsive nature because they cannot control that. They cannot take over the impulsive nature because they don't have a free intellect. We have it. We don't want to do it. Don't do it, so then continue to suffer. Then we continue to suffer in our life throughout the day and night for years. We are suffering. And because of those impressions, we build a very strong ego. And that ego prevents you to embark on the journey of the self-discovery. We are not humble. We don't see that there should be an openness in learning. That is the meaning I said couple of times. Can you contemplate on one statement? I know that I have yet to know. What is yet to be known makes you humble. You already know everything yourself. You will definitely have a big ego. You will react, you will blame on unnecessary things in your life. So when you react to yourself, you will react to others also. When you react to others also, your relationship with your near and dear ones will not be good. And that will cause you anxiety, reaction, stress, and suffering. And so we feel that we are, I'm sorry to say, people start thinking that, I am thrown into the world of this suffering. I have no peace. Why you live then? But we want to live. We have still an expectation that the peace and happiness will come from the world. It is not going to come. Do whatever you want to do. You marry Miss Universe or Mr. Universe after a few weeks. You buy the best luxury car after a few weeks. You eat in the restaurant after a few hours. You buy a dress after a week. You do the surgery, remove your eye bags after a few weeks. Find out there is no peace and happiness in the world outside. It cannot be found. But because of our ego, we find we can find out. So when you can find out, so if you can find out, let me know. I will also follow you. Where is the problem? If you can find out, we can also follow you. After all, you have find out. So we run after these problems, these projections unnecessarily, and with these projections we continue our life. We don't find. Okay, let us see that how we can translate today's session into a practice. Eyes are closed and eyes are closed. So you see, that is why, because the sense organs and the mind cannot find the peace. Senses in the mind cannot find peace outside, so we close our eyes. Why we close our eyes? It is a symbolic expression. Senses cannot lead me to peace or happiness. Hence, I close my eyes is also symbolic of that I almost do not ask any sense organ to run after any object. That is the meaning of place, position, and posture. Why you stay at the same place, position, and posture? Why? Because there is no use of moving, changing. That is the meaning. So the subtle meaning. And now you move to the second step of being comfortable. So I said being comfortable, if you remember, being comfortable is change of direction of the mind. Change of direction of the mind. Change of direction of the mind means what? Direction of the mind means what we want to know, the invisible part of the universe and also me. We know fairly, body, breath, mind, maybe you can say the intellect, and mind, intellect, and ego. We know a lot of behavior and attitude. So we say change of direction means we want to know beyond that. And that is why we use the word. What we use? Look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes on the skin of the body. You look at the skin and then you look inside. So you look inside does not mean that you are not looking at the bones in the flesh. So inside means the invisible part. Can you see the current can you see the current in a wire unless without touching it? No. So it means it is beyond the senses. It is awareness, it is consciousness. So looking inside here means being aware of that darkness or emptiness will do in the beginning, and it leads to an experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That is how we work. Now comes another being carefree. So we want to settle inside. We want to stay there. We want to stay there in that emptiness. That is being carefree. That is the simple meaning. But how can I stay in that state? How can I stay in the state when the mind is running constantly? Okay, then we say, now you can bring highway and the traffic are two things. The birds in the sky are two things. Same way. Observer in us and the thoughts, feeling, and emotions are two things. Two things means one thing, the observer remain constant. It does not change, like the highway and like the sky. What changes? Thoughts, feeling, emotions, and thought, feeling, and emotions. So what happens now? Your mind does not declare, say for example, the thought is, I hate that guy. So what is the change? What is the change now? Change now is that there is a thought in my mind, there is a thought in the mind that I hate that guy. It is a thought, it is not me, it is not me. How come? I cannot be a thought. I am not a thought. I am not a thought, and I am not a hate. So why I am not a hate? Who says it? Observer. And that observer is separate from me. That separation makes you free from the thought. Thought may continue to come, then what? Let it come, now you are free. That is why I explained you before, the traffic is on the road. It doesn't mean that you stop the car, you say, I will not drive unless all the traffic are gone. No, you keep on driving. So that exploration is possible only by the human mind. Animal mind cannot do it. And now in that state, we've asked that settle the mind little deeper. And then we do the practice, simple practice. Oh, what is that? You look, feel, know your head and the neck as an observer. When you see only as an observer, as a third party. You know, if I use the word we don't. So what happens? What happens? You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the head and the neck. It is already there. What we did then, we removed the dirt. I explained you, we removed the dirt and the dust. That is how it happened. I explained you everything in the talk, which I am translating into a practice. And now you look at the right arm. When I say look, feel, know, it is your self-awareness. You notice, means you are an observer, and that results. What is the result? Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You're not moving at all. You're not doing it all. You are an observer. So you move the mind on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the middle portion of the belly, from the shoulder to the waist. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You stay there, you experience, you understand, and that helps you to move there. And you move your mind. on the right leg from the right side of the waist, going down to the toes. And I can say the same thing. You look, feel, know, means you are aware, means you are an observer. Observer is always separate from the observed. Have you ever? Observer is always separate from observed. You experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. When I say I see you, I am an observer, and you are observed. So the two are always separate. If they are not separate, you cannot see, you cannot say. You cannot say that I observe or I know or I see. So when they are separate, by knowledge, by understanding, by wisdom, makes you free from the dirt and the dust of the mind, which I explained in my talk. Now the left leg, moving the mind on the left leg, being there, you feel. No, now it is clear, so I can directly say you experience. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now the entire body, from the top of the head to the toes. So now your mind is clear, you notice, you observe. What you observe is separate from you. It means this body is not you. That wisdom, that awareness gives you the experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. We did nothing. So it means it is already there. We simply discovered that is the key to our now in that state you just remain as it is. So how to remain at it? How to extend that state? Why to extend that state? Why to extend that state? We extend that state to discover what is behind the senses and the body. So what we do, there are many things to do. Just look, feel the breath, what we have been doing. Look and feel the breath. So when you look and feel the breath, you want a continuity. When you want a continuity, that is where we can discover the deeper. So what you're doing is just a flow of the breath. Flow of the breath. So we explore the flow of the breath, it in and out. How do you know? How do you know in and out? You know in and out by feeling. So yes, by knowing. So what it means to stay there? You keep knowing the breath in and breath out, but you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. What happens by constantly staying in that state? You are removing the dirt, you are finding the deeper layers of your consciousness. It is very simple. Those people who have a sense of humility and open, and it is damn difficult. Teacher says something to make you understand and you react, your ego comes into play and you stop it. Stop it. Nothing happens to the teacher. You see, as long as I speak, it is somewhat appears good, but the moment I stop, maybe your mind returns to the old habit. Very good. If it returns to the old habit, and bring the mind back to what? To the flow of the breath. It appears childish for the ego, but for the seeker, it is very deep. It is very deep. Here, your mind is carried away by some thought. No issue. No issue. You just return. You just start looking at the breath again. That is what we say. Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Then lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Share our experiences now. How are you, Sophie?
I am good, Girish. I was aware that my head was going like that, but I didn't fall asleep. But I heard you talking, but what you said didn't come true always. And I have a question. So what is the difference between, like, when we do the practice, right, during the week? What's the difference if I meditate on my own without listening to the recording and listening to your recording?
So when I know what exactly is meditation, when I have a clear understanding that I can change the direction of the mind without instruction, yes? If not, follow the audio.
Okay. Thank you.
How are you, Mead?
I feel very happy right now. I feel that I allowed myself to be with the process instead of making it happen.
Very good. Very good. So, how are you, Charlie?
I'm good, Girish. I've been finding myself coming back to my breath, moving in and out multiple times in the week. And during the meditation, I was able to come to a very quiet place. Yeah.
Ah, good. During the week, if you become aware that I got carried away, it is my impulsive nature and I return to it. That is really good. And even in today's meditation, if that happens, that is good. So we'll meet next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.